Not a
Off the
crazy
top of your head,
prediction.
who's winning gold?
Canada.
Canada?
I don't know the teams, but Canada.
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
Welcome, everybody, to the Draft in Hand podcast. My name is Greg. I'm with Ian.
Yo.
And Mark.
Hey.
And we are pretty close, if not, if you haven't watched the first games of the World Junior Hockey Championship, we're right at the start of it right now. So we're recording this on December 23rd. We're excited to watch the World Juniors. We're excited to watch all these young star players. And we actually just got some breaking news from the NHL. They just released their schedule. So that's cool too. But we'll talk about NHL stuff later. We're just going to focus on World Junior Hockey Championship things. And I was going through some, you're just clicking around the internet. That's what you do with the internet. You just sort of click around. And man, there's some stuff that I came up with here just in terms of medals. Did you guys know that Sweden has only won 2 gold medals in the World Juniors?
Like through the history of the entire tournament?
Ever.
That's bullshit.
That's holy shit.
Like Finland has won 3 times in the past.
Like 11 years.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3. Since 2014, Finland's won. And those countries sort of go hand in hand.
Well, they're like they
But
hate
they're
each
still
other on
different
the ice.
countries.
And they're literally hand in hand on a
Yeah.
map.
And like that's probably almost a bigger rivalry than Canada USA when it comes to hockey.
Kinda. Yeah, because it's like, oh, Canada's got Russia there. Now it's
Yeah.
the US. But those two, yeah.
I think I hate, like, as a Canadian fan, I dislike the Russian national team more than the American national team.
Yeah, and it sort of comes and goes
Yeah.
depending on the rivalry. But yes.
So I just counted, like, in the last, 25 years, Sweden's been lost in the finals 6 times.
That sucks for them.
Too bad.
Russia's only won 1 gold since 2003. So 2011 they won. Canada, total 18 gold medals. So they're by far, but it's their tournament to lose, right? It's the World Junior Championships of Canada versus everybody,
Yeah.
basically. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't get a medal, we're Canadians. So, like, if we don't get a medal, like, yeah, we're a little...
We're throwing
Yeah, but we can
stuff.
always use the excuse when we don't get a medal that our best players weren't there anyway because they're already in the NHL.
Yeah.
Yes, which is cool to see anyway, but at the
Yeah.
same time, when you have the pipeline that is the Canadian Hockey League, OHL, the Q, the WHL, like, you should be pumping out the most. I mean, you should. It's nice to see other countries win because
No, it
if you're winning all the time, it's like there goes the narrative.
Yeah.
But
It's good to have a rivalry, but we don't want other teams winning.
well, it sucks when there's only real 5 other there's 5 other countries essentially that have
Compete
a shot
against Canada, beating Canada.
There's
yeah.
top 6, and that 6th country, I mean, so Canada, US, Russia, Sweden, Finland. Czech is, I guess, the 6th one, but they're 6th by a long shot. The last time they medaled was in 2005.
1.
They won in 2001.
Oh, the last time
They
they
went
medaled,
back
sorry.
to back.
They did.
Early 2000s.
2001. They went back to back with gold, and then the Czech haven't got a medal. They won bronze in 2005.
Damn.
Yeah, but that was a no-brainer team for Canada to get that gold.
So, I mean, I don't want to go down the list and start reading out all this stuff because you guys, as listeners, you know exactly where to find this information, and you know a particular station that does a great job covering all this stuff. So, if you really want all this, you can go there to get it. We today are going to dive a little bit back into drive down memory lane and just sort of reminisce about different teams that we liked, different players that we liked. Because, I mean, just like anyone else growing up around in Christmas time, you're flipping on, the NHL
Got
takes a
your
back
Team
seat.
Canada jammies on.
You have your Team jammies on, your Team Canada jammies on, and you're waking up at what time are we getting up for those tournaments in 2000 and was like 14 and 13? Yeah, when they were in Russia.
Yeah, I remember watching the games in my basement. There was 6 of us watching the games, and we were up at like 4 a.m. We congregated on the street at 4 a.m.
Like
There's
hooligans.
6 of us just standing in the middle of the street getting ready.
Getting ready emotionally
Yeah, it was...
in the snow.
They didn't even win that year.
No, they lost.
Disappointing.
How aggravating to get up at 4 a.m. to watch them lose.
I know. I wonder how they felt.
Bunch of loser. Yeah, I know, right? Oh my god. Yeah, I remember getting. Yeah, you wake up, you go to bed at like, you try to go to bed early, but you can't fall asleep anyway. So you get 2-hour nap. Basically.
Canada didn't even medal that year.
Yeah, finished 4th.
We medaled for getting up that early and watching that bullshit. We getting up at 4 or 3:30, having a quick like snacky snack or whatever.
Maybe running to Tim's to get a coffee. I think I did that.
You might have.
Timbits, man.
Do we get Timbits?
Yeah, we got Timbits.
Shit, I don't remember that. Maybe. I'm not a coffee guy, so I definitely didn't have coffee. Maybe some eggnog.
No,
I
I'm
need
not
my
an eggnog
coffee.
You an eggnog guy, Ian?
No,
No?
I'll drink it, but like it's not a thing. Like my parents love it, but no.
I just don't understand the concept of it. Like, why?
Because Christmas.
Yeah, but
But why?
so?
If it's that good, why isn't it available all year round?
Exactly.
Because Christmas.
So
I
Yeah.
just said that. So, yeah, I remember getting up and, we'd be outside, I don't know, throwing snowballs at each other. Did we play road hockey? Did we play road hockey at 3 a.m?
I doubt it.
Getting ready for this?
We
No,
No,
might
I
have-
think we were polite to the neighbors. We were quiet.
I feel like maybe when we were younger, we would have done something like that.
Maybe, yeah. There's
But
snow on the ground.
I think there was snow on the ground that year.
There was.
Could have been.
Yeah. Because I remember going outside and it being like eerily like bright because of the moon and like the snow. Like, when the moon's out and there's snow everywhere?
Yeah, I don't need a flashlight.
Yeah, it's like kind of eerie too because you hear
Don't
the
need
snow
nothing.
falling and hitting the ground. It's like, ooh.
Spooky. Do you remember that team at all?
Not particularly.
Because
No,
they were
not at all.
losers, you're
I
right.
just kind of remember getting up early. That was
Who would have been on that team 2013? I don't know.
I'm not.
It's not one of the teams I remember.
It's not one of the. Okay, so what is a team that you remember? And like like thinking back over the past, I don't know, 20 years or whatever.
There's definitely like three or four teams that come to mind.
Okay, name them. Go.
The teams or like the years. So like
Whatever you like, man.
the
What did you like
04
about 'em?
the 04 team was a really good team.
Okay.
They didn't win that year. I think that was US won in 04. The 05 team was the ridiculous Canada team that had no business even looking at a loss on the game sheet.
And who is on that squad?
The 05 team?
Yeah.
Crosby for sure. I think who else was there? Fuck.
That was the
Was that the double Dion year?
Dion might
Grand
have been on
Forks,
it.
North
Dion was on
Dakota.
that team. Yeah, Jeff Carter, friggin' Getzlaff, Mike Richards was the captain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so 2005 was the start of Canada's run of 5 in a row. So that was before that Canada had sort of
Yeah, you
struggled.
couldn't get that team under the salary cap.
Who's on that team, Mark, from 2000 and
Seabrook, Phaneuf, like with like decent NHL
so this is
careers.
2005, right?
This is 2005.
Yeah.
It had Seabrook, Phaneuf, Shea Weber, Jeff Carter, Sidney Crosby, Colin Fraser, Anthony Stewart, Getzlaff, Clark MacArthur, Mike Richards, Andrew Ladd, Jeremy Colton, which is cool because he's the coach of the Blackhawks now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the young guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, you're right.
Corey Perry, Cam Barker, Nigel Dawes, who went to have a good career in the out in Europe.
Yeah.
A couple of years in the NHL. Coburn and Bergeron.
Oh,
Yo,
Bergeron, he's okay.
Heard of him.
Yeah.
I think he was the MVP that tournament.
I believe you're correct. Though don't quote me on that.
No, I think it was Nigel Dawes. No. Dawes led that tournament in scoring that year.
04 Dawes and Stewart were the leading on Canada, which
Was
is
it?
funny. Yeah, they
Oh.
they both had like 11 points that year.
Yo, but you're right. We should have compared that team to the salary cap. That would have been,
That would have been a stat.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so that was a really good. That was clearly those players and their NHL tenures speak for themselves. Like that's an incredible group.
Yeah, it's a Hall of Fame team.
When you
Basically.
go back to the 04 team, like Crosby was on that. Richards was, but then there was a bunch of different guys that weren't on this weren't on the 05 one. It was Burns, Carter, Fleury, Getzlaff, Phaneuf, Seabrook. Seabrook was on that one though too, right? 05.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that
Max
had
Talbot.
2 trips.
Yeah, that was the 04 one. They lost that one.
They did. But I mean, again, like, it's just an incredible group of talented players. Mark, how about yourself? What team sort of sticks out for you? Sort of looking back.
Canada team?
Yeah, sure. Or any team, really.
Even the one last year was fucking really good.
Yes.
Like, with all those kids coming up to the NHL, like, a bunch of those kids graduated or going to be in the NHL this year, and a bunch who were, like, not on the team this year, but were there last year. That team was just fun to watch.
Which guys sort of stand out to you?
Lafreniere.
Yeah, Lafreniere gets injured in that first game and comes back and, like, dicks the rest of the, like, just whips his dick out the rest of the tournament, just running over people and just... He just put everybody out of class in that tournament, man. Like...
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, outclassed
Yeah.
a lot of the tournament.
Like, I remember watching, like, Crosby, and, like, the last person to dominate a tournament like that in, like, the World Juniors, I think it was, like, that Finland line,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe John Tavares.
Who's on that Finland line?
Aho, Puljujärvi, and Lane.
Do you remember
they
which-
won in 2016.
That's when they won, and that they were at home that year too.
Yeah, 2 years before that, they won in Sweden as well, beating Sweden in overtime.
Was that what? That must have been one of those 6 silver medals that Sweden got that you were talking about before.
Man.
There,
I
Ian?
watched both those games. Those were some of, like, two of the favorite hockey games I've ever watched.
So okay, what do you remember from those games?
They were so close and competitive. Friggin'
That was the 2016. That was Kapanen's
Kapanen's OT winner.
OT.
Russia
yeah.
scored with like 6 seconds left to tie it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The pride and joy of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kasperi Kapanen.
Again.
Yeah.
Drafted by then.
Yeah.
Oh, a
And-
lot of good players on both those teams in the NHL. Now, guess who was in net in that the 2014 team that beat Sweden?
that beat Sweden for Finland.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it wasn't Rask.
No, Rask is a lot of.
No. Oh my gosh, who was it, Mark?
He's going to be probably hoping he carries your team this year. Saros.
was it Saros?
Yeah, UC Saros put like almost a 940 save percentage in that tournament.
Okay, that was at the tip. I'm like, is it Saros? I'm like, I can't remember how old he
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Well, Mark
UC
knew, so
Saros.
you could just throw it a name.
And they had a defense pairing of Lindell and Ristolainen. So, like,
Those guys are
fuck,
okay.
that's a good, that team was so fun to watch 2014 and 2016.
But
just
you're-
'cause they got
but-
more goals.
But you like to cheer for Finland, like it's Canada.
Yeah, there's a little
and
bit
then-
there's a little bit of it in my blood too.
So what other what do you see or looking back, like is there another, like that line, the Aho line? What do you remember about that Aho line? I mean, yeah, they were good, they were incredible, but like is there a moment or anything you remember?
I remember after watching the first game of that tournament, I remember talking to you guys. I'm like, yo, Finland's gonna win the tournament easily. Like, nobody's gonna beat them. Like, this one line they got, like, holy fuck.
I remember watching that as well. Like I didn't watch like all the games like you did, but I was watching it. I'm like, oh, this Puljujärvi guy is so good. Mark's like, no, Line is way better. And because they were talked about the most because they were underage and they were in that next draft year.
Well, they're both being centered by Aho, who's also a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him just develop over the next couple of
Win
years.
a couple Selkies, probably.
Yeah, that's something. For myself, I really don't. I remembered some teams, but for me, I remember watching this kid backstop the American team from 2010 through 2012. Like, not often do you get a guy that's there 3 years in a row.
As a goalie?
Yeah, as a goaltender.
Good name for a goalie.
Yeah, I don't know where he's ended up now. Jack Campbell. But I just remember him being so athletic. Just he was sort of a reflex goalie. He would be aggressive. He'd sort of telescope out to take away shots. He wasn't the traditional butterfly goaltender. He went 11th overall in the 2010 draft. That was the Sagan Hall Taylor versus Tyler draft. So he went to Dallas. And he just never broke into the NHL the same way some of those other guys did. No, he's sort of like a career backup. He went over to LA, and then of course, he was traded to Toronto last year. But just since then, like, I don't think there's been a goalie since then that I've enjoyed watching as much as I watched seeing Jack Campbell 10 years ago. He was just a fun goalie to watch. And even playing for the Leafs like last season, just those little snippets of games. Yeah, Anderson's good, but I liked watching Jack Campbell better just from a style perspective. So that's what I remember. I like just thinking back at You know who's also on that 2010 team? John Carlson. And I remember where I was when he scored in overtime against
crosses the blue line, fucking throws it on net, and goalie couldn't save a beach ball.
No, it was it was a rush in overtime.
Yeah.
He came down on a rush on the right wing, and I was standing there. See, that was so 2010 was.
I remember.
In
He just like fuck. It was
Saskatoon.
just
Yeah.
a wrist shot, man.
But post in,
Yeah.
like, man, I remember I had to go to a hockey practice. I was like, I had my gear at the door. I'm like, yo, this game better be over quick because we're going into overtime now. I have to go to a hockey like a late night hockey practice, and I'm like, for sure, everyone's showing up late to this thing or like right on time because like there's a game to watch. Yeah, there's something going on. And I remember John Carlson, flying down the wing and basically just putting the perfect shot. I didn't even think the goalie like went into the butterfly, which is so rare these days.
Who was the goalie? Do you remember?
It was no, because I just remember the goal. I remember Carlson zipping it past him blocker side, and I think Carlson made his NHL debut like later that month for the Capitals.
For the Caps?
Yeah, like 3 weeks later, he's playing in the NHL.
Fucking right, good for him.
Yeah, good for, and he's been okay since then, I guess.
Yeah, won a cup.
Yeah,
Well,
won a cup.
And that year, the 2010 would have been the end of Canada's 5 gold medal run. They lost. That would have been the 6th if they won that one.
That ended it. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And started with that 05 team. And then went to that 09 team that probably has one of the most iconic Canadian moments.
You want to walk us through that moment, Ian? Second by second?
I don't remember it second by second. It was
Well, that's disappointing.
against Russia. What happened? Like, one of them tried to go for the goal, didn't they?
Yeah, the fucking idiot Russian iced the puck.
Yeah, so
when he could have just flipped it into center ice.
yeah, so one of the
Unbelievable.
Because you have to fucking leave. Canada supposed to leave the zone, so that's gonna take a couple seconds anyway.
So yeah, they
Fucking
they
moron.
got the icing.
He's thought about it every day since.
Probably.
Oh, probably.
Don't know who it was.
No.
I just remember Tavares winning that battle on the boards, getting the puck out front to Eberle.
It was like a backhand shot pass kind of.
and Eberle just
Ellis
hit it
keeping
out
the
of
puck in
the
on
air.
the blue line was more fucking better.
Yeah, the whole,
was it? Yeah.
the whole
the hold on the blue
Just
line,
like the whole like
just to throw it back in the
10
corner.
seconds that happened there just were unreal. And I think they went on to win that one in shootout.
Yeah, Eberle scored the shootout.
Tavares and Eberle scored in the shootout.
Yeah, Eberle scored the first goal in the shootout.
I think
to win
they
that.
had 2 shooters, both scored. I don't remember who was in net for Canada, and I think they stopped both. It was either Taraski or Picard.
Tokarski.
Tokarski.
Tokarski?
It was probably Tokarski.
So similarly though, in one of our previous episodes we talked about the befuddlement from the Tampa Bay Rays and the like that bloop hit coming around third base, guy stumbles and falls, crashed into home plate. It was a comedy of errors. And talking about how that was like it was like if that was scripted in a movie, you'd be like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Similarly, though, that goal that you're talking about, the
Eberle.
Jordan Eberle goal,
Yeah.
the keeping it at the blue line, winning the battle on the boards, backhand, it's like that's just stupid. Like you can't write that like that.
Yeah, it's like
At
it's
that
also
point,
hockey karma from like a decade
you could
ago.
try
when
and
Fleury
write it.
put one in off a Russian.
Yeah, if you try to write that, I'm turning the movie off. I'm like, this is dumb. This is stupid.
It's definitely something you would see in a stupid hockey movie, though.
Yeah, I think so. We can name some of those, but let's not.
That's not.
Hey, so okay.
That team was unreal, though.
Do you remember though? I remember the 2007 team, the shootout win versus the States, and Carey Price. It was like the Carey Price versus Patrick Kane shootout, basically.
Was that when Taves scored 3 in a row?
Yep.
Kane was the one shooting for fucking.
It was Kane versus Taves, basically the shootout. With
No
Carey
way.
Price in
Was
net.
that 07 or 06?
God, I was so oblivious when I was younger.
2007? Yeah.
It never gets mentioned that it was against like Kane was shooting for USA.
He was one of them.
Yeah, but like
No, it wasn't that guy Oshie. Wasn't it Oshie?
Well, there's 3 shooters.
Yeah, but then they repeated shooters, and I'm pretty sure wasn't it Oshie that was repeating,
Could have
or was
been.
that one that they won? I don't remember.
Kane was on that team. But it was that was a semifinal game, and that was two gold medals in. They're playing in Sweden, and well, I guess yeah. I mean, has there been a really good? I mean, until Carter Hart recently, Carey Price has been by far the best Canadian goaltender that we've had. Really, Fleury before then. Mark, you want to tell a Fleury story?
Oh, fuck. Well, not really a story with his fucking blunder in, forget what year it was, but he friggin' tries to play the puck up the middle and he shot it off the
It was
Russian.
the 2004
Yeah.
gold medal game.
And the puck ended up in our net,
Yep.
and we lost that game.
Fired it right off of a Russian innocent Russian forecheck.
Oh yeah. Russian guy's got the hero check going and everything.
Jeez.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't the gold medal because that was U.S. that won that one.
Sorry, which one is that?
I thought you said it was against Russia, right?
Which one?
The Fleury thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was against Russia.
Yeah, Fleury did that against Russia.
Hmm.
So,
It was just one of those things. Like you said, if that was in a movie, you'd be just like, that is so stupid.
That is so
The fact that it happened in
stupid.
real life, you're just like, well...
No, it was against U.S. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, it was against the States?
Yeah, it was Patrick O'Sullivan. He had two goals in the third period to rally U.S. to a 4-3 win.
One of them was Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah. It was a blunder by Canadian goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury.
heard of him. He's won a cup since then.
He's won a couple.
Yeah. Doesn't
I
probably.
feel like that was a sign because after that they went on to win 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And so we were actually, I remember, this is more recent. This is more recent than that. We headed up to my cottage two and 3 years ago. We were up at the cottage
Yeah, for New Year's.
for New Year's up in Halliburton. The first year we were up there, I guess that was 2007.
Is that when it was negative 40?
7. It was minus
2017.
40. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, minus 40 outside.
Fuck.
And
I remember that. Well,
it was so cold, and I don't remember much of the hockey. Like, we watched a few of the games, but I remember like huddled in the basement, like in the corner, basically watching the TV with the wood stove going and everything like that. So 2007, that was Toronto, Montreal, so that was like local time, so easy to watch.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I believe is it the U.S. won that one? Canada got the silver.
What was it, 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shootout loss.
Beers
Yeah.
were nice and cold that weekend, though. Fuck.
Yeah,
They were too cold. We
Yeah,
couldn't
I
leave
know.
them outside too long.
it was so cold that the barbecue didn't work.
No.
It was so cold that the
No.
propane tank, the
No.
line froze.
No. No.
Ian, so what did you suggest we do with the propane tank?
We got the barbecue going with the propane tank that was on it.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know if it was the propane tank that was on it or not, but barbecue went out. So Andrew's like, oh crap, we're out of propane. Goes and grabs the
Andrew's
backup
my brother,
one.
by the way.
Yeah, goes and grabs the backup one and puts it on, and there's no propane coming out of the tank. Like, we're not getting anything on the barbecue. Minus 40 out, probably had a little moisture on the inside there, some ice.
Valve's
Nice.
frozen, probably.
Yeah. No, because we could turn it.
Oh, no, but there's
Yeah.
ice in the valve or something.
So we suggested a couple things, but Greg's brother did not want to do any of them. Mark said, why don't you just bring it inside for a bit? And
Warm
it's
it up.
like, that's one thing that people always say, don't bring propane tanks inside.
Yeah.
And I understand him not wanting to do that. Mark also said,
Just pour hot water
pour
on it.
hot water on it.
Pour sweet cream on it.
And he did not want to do that. Andrew,
Water is not going to cause an explosion.
I don't. Andrew's just so stubborn that he has to think of the
If he doesn't think of it, it's
solution
not
for it.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up cooking the smelly fried chicken inside and
Okay, so
smoking up the cottage.
we needed that was a meal that the barbecue was necessary.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know what we had going on the stove, but the stove was full of stuff. And then we we had sausages and like chicken thighs or something,
With potatoes too.
something like that. And so we ended up doing them all on the stove inside. Clifford, one of our friends, he's basically a grill master.
Yeah.
He's not, but we're going to call him that. He basically gave me the chicken, gave me this, instead of when you guys are, fucking around at the barbecue outside trying to get it to work in minus 4, like genuinely minus 40, like not,
Excuse me.
we're not we're not saying, hey, it was actually minus 20, it's minus 40. It was minus 40.
Yeah, it was
And
cold.
so he's there. I'm trying to help him out. He's got the sausages in the oven. I don't remember the last time I've ever done sausages in the oven.
No.
But as soon as they split, they become, like, and it starts dripping, they just become
Yeah,
smoky.
the grease, yeah.
Yeah. And so that smoke gets into the kitchen, and Mark's girlfriend, Amy, is trying to clear the smoke because the fire alarm's going, like our smoke detector's going off in the kitchen. So she has a glass of wine in one hand. She's got a kitchen towel, waving it around like a rally towel in the other hand, trying to clear the smoke out of the kitchen.
We're opening and closing the doors because we can't leave them open too long because it gets
Well, we couldn't open the windows
freezing.
because they were frozen. The windows were frozen
Oh,
shut with
yeah.
the condensation. So Clifford's got like 3 frying pans going with all
I think I
these
was playing
chicken
beer pong
thighs.
downstairs with Shane when all this was happening.
Yeah, just stay out of the way, man.
I don't think
I never want to step in the kitchen when I see too many hands in there.
There were hands in the kitchen. There were towel waving in the kitchen. Things were happening. But like, Shane, our friend Shane, came up the stairs from the basement, and he's like, "What the fuck? Like, I almost can't see you guys from the stairs into the. And it's not that far, but I can't see you guys from the stairs because it's so smoky." Amy's like wailing this kitchen towel, trying to like get the smoke detector off and stuff like that. So it all turned out. Andrew finally got the barbecue started like
No, he didn't.
the next day
The
or
next
something.
The next day, you know what he did?
Oh, he poured some hot water on it. But to clear the smoke out of the kitchen, we're like, okay, fuck, we're gonna have to like, it's smoky in here, like just from the chicken,
From everything.
from the chicken in the frying pans and everything, the sausage in the oven. So smoky in the kitchen. Like, hey, we're gonna have to open the 3 doors that are adjacent to the kitchen, and it was so cold outside that we start to see fog billowing in to the kitchen. So we're waving the doors, and this fog. I was standing in the kitchen. I wasn't doing the door waving. It might have been Ian, Clifford, and Andrew, and they were
No, Clifford was cooking.
there was smoke billowing in. Like, it almost got from smoky in the kitchen to like foggy. Like, you could see less.
Because it was so hot with all the fucking stoves going in the house.
And all the mouth breathers for that matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Just
was
a recipe for a disaster.
it was something else. And at some point we got to sit down and watch the World Junior game after that fiasco. But that was something that
I feel like that might have been after the World Junior game even.
it could, yeah, if it was like an afternoon game or something, a 4
I feel like
4 p.m. start or whatever.
I feel like we made dinner late that night for some reason. Well, it was the propane, I guess.
I guess it was the propane situation.
Got tracked by a coyote that weekend too.
Yeah, walking down the road.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ian and I were walking. I had to park my truck further bit down the road because I couldn't get it up this fucking hill.
Mm-hmm.
So Ian and I walked to the truck, have a quality air quality check break,
Yeah.
and
Gotta
then
check the air, man.
we start walking back, and I was like, "Yo, Ian, did you notice these when we walked here?" No, you're fucking like coyote prints that followed us in and out of the forest as we walked to my truck.
I feel like it was either the second time, and I think they were like following our tracks from the first time we went.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Yeah, because it was snowing as well, so like our tracks were getting covered too. Yeah, it was kind of scary.
It was just eerie because like they were walked exactly the same,
But we could tell it was
exactly
only
where we
one.
walked. Because I remember stopping at a couple spots, like those salt depots where you guys like.
Oh
have the
yeah,
salt on the
it's
side.
just like a salt sandbox on the side of the top of the hill,
Yeah,
just in case.
I
you're stuck.
went and stood by one for like a little bit, I walked around it, and like that whatever was following us did the exact like
It's tracking you.
tracking what I walked in. Like I was like, it stopped exactly where I stopped, turned exactly to the other side. Like how does it? And then, like
What are we
just-
talking about?
Seeing what's up.
yeah,
Ian and I
it's-
ran down to the lake in -40. That was fun.
I was in boxers and a t-shirt.
Something like that.
Blink-182 run.
Yeah. Oh, so in very much what music video is it where the band is running around naked?
No clue. I don't remember.
There's one.
Oh,
of
isn't
them.
it? What's my age again?
I think so. So Ian and I decided to learn a little bit about inverse fractions that night. Just to run down to the lake and back in -40, wearing very little. Anyway, so the next year actually, I remember the next year we were playing like we'd be playing.
The next year was a lot more pleasant. We were playing pond hockey and shit like
it was
that.
like -2, 3, and the ice was perfect.
That was 2018.
The ice was perfect. So remember, we were watching a game.
We had
and
to
then-
clear off a couple sections just so we had nice ice because we carved up the one. Like you and me were out on the ice for like 3 hours, 4 hours that
Yeah.
first day.
Yeah, that was the World Juniors in Buffalo, so the games are much more like again Eastern time. So whatever watch a game at 1:00 or whatever, or 4:00. But in between then, whichever the Canada game was in, we're down on the lake.
Canada
Sauce,
won that year at least.
Playing some hockey.
playing some on the ODR as everybody says it.
Yeah.
What was that? The 2018 team?
Yeah.
Oh, there's some good guys on that team.
Want to name a couple?
Mark's buddy,
Gritty?
Kata Hot.
Kinda hot.
Oh, well, the same squad.
So
same franchise.
because it's so close to like when it happened, like 2018 is not that long ago. A lot of these guys haven't been in the NHL or haven't made it up there yet.
No.
Some guys, Cale Makar, Dante Fabro. I don't know if he's actually played up there yet. He's
played
good.
I think so.
Victor Mete.
He's played with the Habs.
Yep.
Yeah, he's played, and I thought he
Yes.
was pretty good in the playoffs. Like he wasn't a liability at all.
No, he's just so fucking small as a defenseman. You're just like,
Yeah.
you just assume he's just gonna get beat by everybody.
The captain was
Pardon?
Dylan
Trey Petit,
Trey Petit.
Oui,
Yeah.
mon ami.
Champignon.
The
Uh-huh.
the captain was Dylan Dubé.
Heard of him?
Doobie?
Doobie.
Yeah.
Who else was on this team?
Cannonball of a player?
Guys that are playing in the NHL now, like Brent Howden.
Update,
Sam Steele.
big update.
What's that?
Nikita Kucherov is out for the season.
The whole season.
Major ouchie, bro.
Does it say what the
I
injury
just
is?
got a
Notification. Just
pop
got a.
up.
Well, by the time everyone's seen this, everyone will already know. So it doesn't
Well, we
matter.
maybe hope so. Wow.
And yeah, so the best guy on this team that I looked up the stats for is Robert Thomas, and he's currently playing on St.
The lead
Louis.
singer of Matchbox 20?
No,
That's
Oh.
him.
He's got a good voice.
currently playing on St. Louis. Played 70 games last year, 66 this year, and he had 42 points this season. So
Multi-
like not bad.
Yeah, he debuted in the playoffs and he was really good, I think.
What was it? You said when he played, yeah, because he played 21 games in 2019, the year they won, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, multi-talented singer, songwriter, hockey player.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty good team.
The new triple threat. Yeah, that's a good squad. That's pretty. Any other?
But
Any
like
other?
their defense, it was mostly the defense core. I thought that was so much better. Like none of the rest of the forwards, it's like none of
None of them are superstars.
There's like 3 or 4 of them that are currently playing like regularly.
But again, you see that that's like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, well, you look back to the 2015 team, there'd probably a bunch of them. And that's another time they won gold. That was, you know who was on this team?
Nope.
I bet you can guess.
Oh, which year? Sorry, which year is this?
2015. Want to guess?
Toronto, Montreal.
Want to guess? It's. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah,
He's
I love hints.
probably the best player in the
Ian.
NHL.
Oh.
Oh, Claude Giroux.
Yes, Connor McDavid is correct.
Oh, that guy! Heard of him.
But I remember this.
Mark shook his hand once.
He was young.
Can you double check that?
Big hands.
He was young in this one, but I remember the one line. I think it was Max Domi, Anthony Duclair, and was it Sam Reinhart that was playing on that line?
Yeah.
That was a disgusting
That was a
line.
sick line.
Above average
Domi scored some sick goals that tournament.
They just had very good chemistry together. Those 3 guys,
They bonded.
and they
Chemically.
just every time they were on the ice, they were running amok.
They were running amok. They were causing a kerfuffle.
Couple other guys on this team, Shea Theodore,
Hey, he
Darnell-
made our
To Team Canada
Team
list?
Canada list.
Darnell-
Episode 1. That was a mess. That was. Holy fuck.
Darnell
that
Nurse,
episode.
Braden Point. You know that Braden Point guy?
Cup champion, Stanley Cup champion, Braden Point. Yeah.
Jake Vertanen,
Yep.
the GOAT, Frederick,
Freddie the Goat. Potential
Uh,
PTO with the Arizonas.
and then like I don't know, Nick Paul, Nick Ritchie, Robbie Fabry. Like
Yeah.
that was a really good team
That's
as well.
a really fucking good team.
Yeah, that's a good squad. Really good squad. You know what? You know what? That squad will make a dent on your fantasy lineup too, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you can get
they
them.
do okay.
Which year was it? Which year was it where we were sitting? You were in my basement. We watched a game. It might have been New Year's. It had to have been in Eastern Standard Time because right after we're like, let's play a season. Let's go franchise mode on NHL. We'll fire up the Chell station.
Was that where we'd make ourselves and
Maybe.
play as our individuals?
And we played literally a whole season all night, and we woke up the next morning.
I don't think you were there that time. I think that was you, me, Adam.
and Andrew. I don't.
I don't know.
There's four of us.
I remember
Shane?
going to. I remember staying awake all night, going to Tim's at like 7 a.m.
Yes.
Oh
and
no,
me-
I wasn't there for that one.
Good.
Me,
'Cause
I went to the. What year was that? I think I went to the Winter Classic that year.
I don't know.
Oh,
But
maybe.
I remember
Was
me-
that 2010.
I think both me and Andrew destroyed that Tim Hortons bathroom.
that could have been. If that was in Saskatchewan.
You know what?
Regina.
I was definitely drinking age because I remember having a lot of beers.
Well, that's. You never did those illegally, did you, Ian? No, never, not once. So
Okay, I might have been close to drinking
The-
age then.
we went to Tim Hortons that next morning. We didn't make. We were decided between making a whole mess of pancakes or going to Tim Hortons. And we went to the Tim Hortons, and I found the biggest wad of hair, like just a clump of hair in my breakfast
Oh, that's
sandwich.
Oh.
Yeah, like it was hanging out, so I didn't even take a bite. It was.
Did you like throw it at them?
I can't remember what I did, but I wasn't pleased.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Sorry if you're.
Ugh.
If you're.
Ugh.
Hope no one's eating dinner.
Or at least Tim Hortons right now.
Yeah, they're in line at Tim's. They're like, I'm getting
fuck
out of
this.
this line.
Well, you
Getting
probably
out of this
should.
line.
I don't even know
Um,
why you're going there anyway. Their coffee's mud.
Hip surgery for Kucherov, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow. Never had that. Don't know what
I'll
that's
take a
like.
new hip.
New hip.
I'll take some knees.
Think it'll be faster.
Give me some shoulders.
Bioengineered hip. Some genetic enhancements in that hip. Got a couple slots for upgrades.
Kind of feel for Tampa though, like. Kind of hope they get Stamkos. Well, you don't feel for Tampa because they won, but
Yeah,
you kind of
screw
feel
them.
for them that like all their guys, like their best players, always get fucking hurt. Like poor Stammer, Hedman's been hurt a bunch of times the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
He had a concussion?
Like
Well, yeah.
Kucherov now.
It's almost like it's a miracle that they held it together to win a cup once.
Yeah,
Like the stars aligned. I mean, not really because they were without Stamkos, but
But
Yeah.
they did it without him.
well, exactly, did it without him. So
but do they do it without him if he doesn't score that fucking goal though?
no. I don't know. I mean, we could speculate, but I mean,
Yeah,
that was amazing.
But because it fit, like they won.
Didn't someone say he got like a play of the year for that? Or,
Oh,
like,
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
Is that what I read out the other
Yeah.
day? We were
Yeah, I
standing
think
around. Yeah,
so.
Sports Illustrated Play of the Year for his 1,000 shooting percentage in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
1.0000000.
That is pretty darn close to perfect. Yeah. That's any other things that sort of stand out from the past? Like,
They won last year.
hey, Canada won last year.
Thanks, facts.
Yeah, I think it was just. I think one of the things about the World Juniors that makes it so special is that it's if this happened, if they took place,
What's your favorite goal?
the favorite goal.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jeez, I don't know if my brain works like that. I mean, I remember certain
Obviously,
goals,
Everly's.
but the Everly goal is so iconic.
And overplayed and redone. And
It's almost like it's too overplayed to be my favorite goal, not to be hipster about it. But I don't know if there's one that like there's one that a couple years ago where the kid crashed the net and sort of like just had like a really in tight play and just beat the goalie like 1-on-1.
I like the one, I think it was in pre-tournament, but the one where Tavares had the puck from behind the net, and he got a hard pass, and he flipped it up to himself, and he whacked it into the net.
Oh,
pre-tournament?
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't even remember that one, but that would be cool.
it'd be nice if you did that more often.
You should do that with
Yeah.
the Leafs.
No, but it was just like one of those plays where like it happened so fast. It was like the skill involved in the goal, even though it wasn't, I think it was pre-tournament, is just blew my mind.
Who was it against? Like Latvia?
No, I think it was. I don't remember
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then, but it was just one of the goals that like still stick out in my mind that he scored.
Gotta look that up.
It's like how nasty it was.
Yeah, it's one of those.
'Cause I was a
things-
big fan of his, like when he was in junior. I went to a bunch of Generals games when
Yep.
he was playing for Oshawa.
Don't you have a jersey of his?
Yeah, an Islanders one. I didn't burn it like the other fucking idiots in New York.
Oh,
Yeah, but you weren't an
Captain.
Islanders fan.
No, I'm a Tavares fan.
I always told him he should just print out a Maple Leafs logo on like a white sheet of printer paper and
Just stick it on.
just tape it to his
It's
chest.
the Blue Islanders jersey too, so I could almost pull it off.
That would be, yeah, you just safety
Still the
pin
same
it.
number.
Just very carefully and delicately safety pin it on.
Does it have an A or a
It has
C?
an A.
Oh, so it was
No, it has a C. It has a C.
It does it have a
has
C?
Nice.
He's the captain on Toronto too. There, it's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, I think people would appreciate that though. I think.
It'd be funny.
Yeah, it'd be clever.
I think it would fall off pretty quick though. But
Not if you do it right.
I don't know. Wear it to the bar one night.
Yeah, it'd be clever. Well, if you're sitting down, I guess if it's on the crest, it won't fold, so it might be okay. Just trying to, yeah. Ian, do you have a favorite goal that sticks out other than the one that I guess you already talked about?
I don't remember. I'm normally drunk during like the ones in the last like 15 years.
They're all nice goals. What he's saying.
Yeah, you're just Celia guy.
I don't know. Lafreniere had a couple really nice ones last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. If you just sort of stick to the talented players that they just like one of you guys said, like they just outclass everybody else.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, let's go to the 7th inning stretch here. I'm up for this one. I got some stats here for you from the National Football League. So we figured that the World Juniors are in Edmonton, Alberta. That's football country. Out west, Western Canada. That's a good part of the country that produces and loves their football. Produces a lot of talent. So we're gonna give a shout out to the Canadians that are making a splash in the NFL in 2020. So Brent Urban with the Chicago Bears, defensive end from Mississauga, in his 14 games, 36 tackles. Christian Covington, defensive tackle, 6th-year vet from Vancouver. He's now with the Bengals, 32 tackles in 14 games. Receiver, N'Keal Harry, the New England Patriots first-round pick last season. He's from Toronto. He struggled a bit this season with the Patriots, but in a town that's seen nothing but success for the better part of 2 decades, you'd think the sky is falling in New England. So he wasn't a first-round pick for no reason. Shout out N'Keal. 30 receptions, 289 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns this year.
Damn.
Tyrone Crawford, defensive end, 8th season with the Dallas Cowboys. He's from Windsor. 12 tackles this year. Also with the Cowboys, 3rd-round pick from this season. They call him the Canadian Bulldozer. Defensive lineman Neville Gallimore from Ottawa. In his 12 games, he's got 22 tackles. Here's a cool one. I thought this was really cool. Also a Cowboy. LP Ladouceur just set the record for games played by a Canadian-born player in the NFL. So
How many? Like
his
12?
Is he a kicker?
200
Is he a kicker?
and 51 games played. He's a long snapper. 251 games played, all with Dallas. Even drew praise from our Prime Minister this past weekend. He's currently the longest tenured Dallas Cowboy at age 39 from Montreal. Huge congrats to
That's the first time I've ever heard of him.
to LP Ladouceur.
What,
Yeah.
Why doesn't like our media ever talk about guys like that?
That's because they talk about hockey.
No, but like he's been tenured there longer than some people have careers in football.
It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Does all he do though is just go out for the long slaps?
He's a long snapper. That's a very specialized position, but you need one of those to get them points. Anthony Auclair with the Bucks, Luke Wilson with the Ravens, Nathan Shepard with the Jets. Shout out to all those guys. Last and certainly not least, Chase Claypool with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's from Abbotsford, BC, and he's carved out a sizable role for himself in a relatively crowded Steelers receiving core. He's having an amazing rookie season. He has 35 receptions, 718 yards receiving, and 8 touchdowns in his 14 games played. Again, it's December 23rd, so all these stats are as of now. Big shout out to our boys in the NFL, Canadians.
Good Canadian, good.
Okay, guys, so let's move on here to sort of the current World Junior Hockey Championships. Hasn't started yet. We've seen a couple of pre-tournament games.
Game 1 for Canada's tonight.
Game 1 for Canada. So we haven't seen Canada in action yet. We were watching Finland USA last night. I thought the Americans moved the puck really well. That top line on the Americans was just moving the puck around like crazy. So that'll be really fun to watch. Is there anybody you guys are excited to be watching this tournament?
I like Perfetti.
Cole Perfetti?
Yeah, I think he's got some crafty hands, and in that, what is it, that Gretzky tournament last year or 2 years ago, he friggin' watched a bit of that, absolutely dominated in it.
So we'll see if he can sort of
Keep doing
replicate.
it. Yeah,
replicate
I think he was
that.
a first-year player last year, but I think he's gonna have a really good tournament this year.
Cool, Ian. How about yourself?
Uh,
You gotta be excited to see Lucas Raymond, Sweden. Detroit.
I
Detroit
don't
guy.
think he's playing. I
No?
think he got COVID. I don't.
Is that has to be like breaking news then, or like at least recent?
I don't. I thought I read about that, but
I know Sweden did have some COVID cases.
so yeah, I want to say I read that on Reddit, but I have no clue.
I mean, I guess until they confirm their tournament roster on the 24th. So they haven't actually confirmed their rosters yet. None of these teams, as of the recording.
Canada have?
No teams have.
Ah,
I mean, they could technically tell you who's tentatively on the roster, but they don't have to put in an official roster until the 24th, the day before the tournament starts.
where was Perfetti drafted? Mark, do you know? It was like between like 5 and 10. I know.
Perfetti?
Yeah.
I know he was top 10.
Yeah. Like Byfield was second. He's on the team. Rangers aren't letting Lafreniere.
No, they're
Go.
keeping him in camp. He'll be in the NHL, so he's busy.
he was selected 10th by the Jets.
There you go.
It's Winnipeg Jet fans,
Just a
I
couple.
fucking hate the Jets. Why does he have to be on the Jets?
because you hate them. That's
Fuck
why.
Blake Wheeler.
Is it because he's American?
No! Because he wouldn't fight Jamie Benn. Even though they're good buddies.
A couple guys from last year, just recognizing names. It's like Drysdale. He was drafted, pretty sure top 10 last year too.
Jamie Drysdale.
Kirby Kirby Doc.
Kirby Doc with
Well,
the Blackhawks.
here, the one thing I'll say about
he actually played a couple games with the Blackhawks.
well,
too,
the
didn't he?
thing I'll say about Kirby
Yeah.
Doc, he played 9 games in the bubble, and he had 6 points. So, like in a playoff atmosphere,
Oh,
6
yeah, yeah.
points. But if watching him in the NHL, he didn't stick out as like a kid. Like he didn't look small.
No, he looked like
He's 6'4", nearly 200 pounds.
Yeah, he's gonna look like what Lafreniere did to kids last year in this tournament.
And he was the 3rd overall pick last year. But so here's something I'll throw out. If you're watching the games, you're watching Canada, watch Kirby Doc carefully. But and it depends on how you watch hockey, but watch Kirby Doc carefully, but more specifically, watch the players that he goes up against. Because he is an NHL caliber, like you said, that class. He's an NHLer.
Yeah.
He played in the NHL.
He doesn't need to go to this tournament for tune-up or anything. It's just him to help Canada. He's just there to help the team win.
Use him as a measuring stick against other players. So if he's burning guys, if he's burning other defensemen, or if he's bullying people in the corner, okay. But if he runs into somebody in the corner, if somebody's playing like shot for shot with him, for example, or keeping up with his pace, keep an eye on that player. So sort of watch Kirby Doc, but watch the opposing players
Watch
that
the
he
players
goes
who
up
can shut him down.
against. Shut him down or match him, match
with
his speed,
Seider
match
was-
his size, match without being too generic in hockey, hockey terms, but just see who can play against him and play at that same level. And if you find those players, watch those guys. If you're like Mark likes to find those hidden gem players. Like he talked about earlier, he talked about those Finnish players.
Yeah, there's a 16-year-old on the Finland team this year.
Exactly. But like if you want to find those gems, look for those players that play
Well
Kirby
again.
Doc hard
Play
because
well against the good players.
and you know that they're going to be telling guys in the dressing room, "Hey, we have an NHL guy on Team Canada." It's not like he's a potential number 1 or what. No, he's
proven.
he's played against men. He's proven.
He's proven. He's gotten points at the NHL in the playoffs.
Yes, against.
That's different than getting points in the NHL. Getting points in the playoffs is a whole new and a different animal.
Whole new thing. One guy a couple guys. Actually, I'm for the first time in a while. I'm excited to watch the Russians for a couple of reasons.
Their goalie,
Well, their goalie. So
Askarov.
that's Yaroslav Askarov. We were watching the draft. We were watching the NHL draft. And as soon as he dropped to Nashville, I told these two guys, I'm like, I almost didn't even look at the pick. I almost didn't watch the pick happen. I'm like, they're taking the goalie. He's there. I know Nashville.
They're taking the goalie.
They're taking him. And I'm like, put the house on it. Like, take that to the bank. That's happening. Of course, yeah, they draft him. And because if he's a couple years away, you know who's a couple years away as well from retiring?
Pekka Rinne.
That fit could be perfect. Along with Saros, like you mentioned before.
But the thing, well, fuck, man, Nashville could tank for 2 seasons, and you get that kid in with 2 picks or something. Woo!
that could be exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see Russia.
Did you see their signing today, Nashville? I think they did too.
You want to tell us who they are?
I know they signed Eric Halla. He was the top of it, probably the top free agent center is still available.
Yes.
I like him.
I would say so. Yeah.
I really like him when he was on Minnesota and with Carolina. Not so much with his stint with Vegas because he got hurt.
Yeah.
But
A little bit limited.
I don't remember the second guy they signed today.
Oh, but it was Granlund.
Yeah. They re-signed him. They had him last. They had him. They traded for him last year
from
Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. So I'm excited to watch Russia for Askarov from the Nashville perspective. From the Toronto Maple Leafs perspective, Rodion Amirov. I've heard a couple pronunciations, but
is that the guy that just drafted this past year?
Yeah, there's their first round
tearing
pick
up he's doing really good in the KHL this year too.
against men.
Yeah,
So I'd love to see him against peers.
and he's not scoring like these backdoor cheapy goals. He's
They're nice.
he's putting shots in on goal. He's scoring on like shots, and he's beating goalies clean.
Yeah. True hockey goals.
Yeah.
None of this.
None of this like
Garbage.
David Clarkson bullshit.
Although, a goal's a goal on the score sheet, but from a development
Anybody
perspective,
can score a goal fucking standing at the side of the net. Maybe not Tyler Bertuzzi, but
Yeah, shut up.
anybody can score a goal standing there.
And the Leafs have Mikhail Abramov as well in Team Russia. He's a 4th round pick, so if he does something cool. But I'm mainly watching Russians for Rodion Amirov and Yaroslav Askarov.
By the way, I looked it up. I still think Lucas Raymond is playing, so it must have been someone else that I read that got COVID.
Yeah, it was.
It might have been a Canadian or something then. I don't know. It was one of the big names somewhere.
I think it was Broberg on Sweden.
There
I
might
don't know.
be.
I don't know.
We might find out tomorrow if there's a few.
Or tonight.
Or
Doesn't Sweden
tonight.
play tonight?
Yeah, if
Sweden
there's
plays the
anyone
late
out.
game, don't they?
Yeah. We'll watch that later.
Canada
Yeah.
plays at 6.
6. Oh fuck! Let's go make dinner. 4:20 right now.
Oh, is it?
Is there anybody on? Is there anybody on Finland, Mark, that you're excited to watch this year?
Not precisely. I haven't really looked into their team this year because I didn't really think there was going to be a World Junior this year. I don't know who's on any team really.
Yeah, you're sort of waiting
But
to see what happens.
I heard that it's the first time they've ever carried a 16-year-old on their under 20 team.
That's pretty
Right.
exciting.
Yeah, and if you're 16 playing in an under 20 tournament, you got to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Name the last 16-year-old that played under.
Was that Crosby? Or Tavares?
I was gonna say McDavid, but
McDavid?
It was probably someone even before that. You know what? I'll take a peek-see on the internet.
Ian's going to take a peek, so you can doing a quick Google search. The Leafs have 3 players playing for Finland.
Do they now?
Yeah, Roni Hirvonen, Mikko Kokkonen, and Topi Niemela.
Oh.
So those guys, and they're not the same level prospect as Rodion Amirov,
No.
or they're not the same level of they're not first round picks. But again, if you hear those names come up, and of course, sure, every team's got guys for any team that you might be, any one of your NHL teams that you might be cheering for. But I think it'll be just nice to sit back and, I'll be cheering for Canada. Yeah, I'll be kind of keeping an eye on these guys, but I think it'll just be nice to sit back and just watch hockey and not flip through Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, watch something live.
Watch something live and that feels a little bit more familiar. And I'll say the same thing that I said with Major League Baseball's World Series and the NBA championship, Stanley Cup final. The real winner in this tournament will be the double IHF for crowning a champion. And if you can crown a champion, and if you can get through it without COVID crap, and if you can get through it safely, then the real winner is the WIHF.
Everybody.
And everybody
Everybody
the fans.
involved.
Exactly. So if you get through it safely, if you can successfully execute it, fingers crossed for them for getting to this stage, for getting everybody to the bubble in Edmonton. And best of luck to everybody. It'd be cool to watch. Austria's in there for the first time in a while.
Yeah, they got Marco Rossi kid too. He was playing yesterday. He looks pretty good.
Solid. Yeah. And in Germany, Tim Stützle.
Yeah, too bad Cider isn't playing, though. He'd be a dark horse if they had Cider.
God. That's one of the guys that would be able to shut down Kirby Doc.
So Ian's list...
He'd be tournament MVP, man.
Ian's list of players that he's watching got significantly cut in half when...
Well, no, because I think he's actually too old now, but...
I think he's still eligible to play.
Oh, then maybe Detroit didn't let him go.
You want to tell us a little bit about...
Detroit didn't let him go
Cider?
because he's probably going to be playing
I don't
with
know.
the team.
He's right-handed shot, big body.
Killing it in the KHL right
Just
now.
literally look him
hold
up.
on. He's a defenseman.
Defenseman, right-handed defenseman. Probably he's a big guy. I don't know exact stat. 6'4"
Big boy.
Great puck mover. His active stick is amazing to watch, and you can't hit him.
Oh, he's just not allowed?
No, like...
No, he doesn't physically allow
Oh, he
it. Like
says
people
no.
that
I
hit
understand.
him, they're falling. If he's falling, they're definitely falling.
Wow.
Most of the time, just they are falling.
Yeah, it hurts when you run into a brick wall, and that's what he is.
Man, never tried that.
But by the way, I looked up the 16-year-olds, and the last two I saw was like Nico Gross from Swiss
Okay.
in 2017, and Rasmus Dahlin was 16 in
When he was
20.
played for Sweden.
Oh, okay.
2017
Rasmus
as well.
Dahlin.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yep.
That's sweet. Anything else that you guys want to add to this?
no.
Pre-tournament World Juniors? Any crazy prediction?
Hopefully Canada wins. Hopefully that's not a
Off
crazy
the top of your head,
prediction.
who's winning gold?
Canada.
Canada?
I don't know the teams, but Canada.
I'm gonna
Yo, don't say anything but Canada, or else we're not friends.
Canada, but if I had to pick a second team, as much as I hate to say it, probably Russia.
I'd probably say U.S.
Just because of their goalie.
Yeah.
And in a tournament, if you got the best goalie, you can win every game.
Yeah.
He was scary last year too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think the Russians are due. As much as I don't want
Wanna
to see
say it?
Russia win,
Yeah. Keep that tongue in cheek, Greg.
just you know what? Just keep me entertained. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see close games.
That's
Like,
what I say. That's what. Well, yeah, but like that's what I say when I'm watching two teams in a playoff series. I don't know. I'm like, I wanted to go 7 games. I don't want to see it end in 5.
yeah, exactly.
I want to see hate.
Yeah.
I want to see blood
and violence
and violence.
and
Nudity.
oh.
Wait.
Maybe from the fans. Like,
Is this not a TV show?
When Washington won the cup and that like chick flashed her breast. Maybe that kind of nudity, but not
Wow.
like.
There's no
Yeah.
fans in the stands,
Yeah.
so
God damn it!
I don't know.
Who was the person that got distracted and you just see them like looking?
It was Kuznetsov. I think it was Kuznetsov, or it was Burkhardt. It was one of the. They were like, titties.
Distraction noodle. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, let's end it here. Send it to the last minute of play. The next time you hear us, we are probably gonna be running down our fantasy top 25s for each position.
We're talking about more World Juniors.
We could be talking about more World Juniors, but keep an eye out for our
Or we could be
fantasy
talking
rankings.
about basketball again.
So
Yeah, cool.
we are going to be sending those out sort of one after the other, maybe one day in a row, one after the other. So keep an eye out for those, and we'll be posting those on. We'll tell you on the podcast where we're posting that. Maybe Twitter. I don't know if it's going to be Patreon or not. We'll see what happens. But keep an eye out for that. And we're going to be enjoying the World Junior Championships just like you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.